And it's that time again. Hello, everybody. How is everybody doing? Welcome, Friday. Well, Friday, I can't say Friday evening. It's Friday evening to me, but it's Friday for everybody, or actually, some people, it's actually Saturday. How's everybody doing? Man, I haven't been this excited to talk about the stuff going on in the community or the stuff going on in the official Discord and in game in a long time. It's been a while since I've been this excited. Can everybody hear me okay? All right, you were on mute. Oh, shoot. I was scared there for a second. Well, if you guys been following this channel for a while, you know that from time to time I do exactly that. I accidentally. It's that time again. Oh, jeez, wait. I mute myself. There you go. All right, cool. Let's make this a tiny bit smaller. All right, guys, get comfortable. We're gonna be here for a couple of hours. A lot of stuff to talk about. It's not clickbait, What you guys saw on the thumbnail is actually going to be happening. Yete, good evening. How you doing? We got Salt Captain Barbosa in the house. Ezrin. Anyone tested Kieran? Didn't see a lot of reports. This part looking solid as I think. We'll see. We'll see. We're just getting started. We've got a couple hours here to burn. Talk about PBE. What's up, Cody? I'm doing good, my friend. I'm doing good. All right, so let's unmute everybody here on Discord. We got a few guests today. Where are we at? Oh, we got a lot of people. All right, everybody. Everybody's unmuted here. Before I announce who's with us today. Which, by the way, we have a rather voice quiet special guest today, and we all will get to hear his voice for the first time ever tonight. First thing I need to do is apologize to Jax. I had told Jax earlier, I think yesterday, I got the old new intro back, and so when I went to play the audio just before we started, the file was corrupted, so I have to re-record the video again. So I apologize, Jax.
I'll send it to you right now.
Cool. So go ahead, Jax.
Yeah, I'll try and send it to you. I'm not a computer expert or whatever, but I'll try.
No worries. So we got Jax in the house. You guys know he's always with me here.
Hey.
A lot of cool stuff to talk about. So we got Fen and Scar, members of Aces. Some of y'all might know that name. Some of y'all might know them by other names. You guys want to say hi really quick, Fen, Scar?
Hello. Hey, everybody.
There you go. I'm assuming the little bubble's popping up, right? Let's check.
Testing.
Yes, it is. All right, cool. It is. We also have two special guests, actually. First, we got our boy Matix. Matix, want to say hi? Really? I don't think I've heard your voice before either.
Yeah, hello everyone. Hope you're having a nice evening or day wherever you are.
There you go. And last but not least, ladies and gentlemen. Well, before I introduce this person, who do you guys think this person is who's going to be joining us today?
The biggest Kraken. That's the question. Who is the biggest Kraken in the game? There's a debate, at least for me, between a couple guys, but this is definitely perhaps that guy, and I think maybe one other guy might be that guy. And the two players that I suspect are the biggest Krakens in the game. One is here now, and the other we've had on the show before. It's months and months ago.
Yeah.
But he may be returning as well to do a highlight of his account.
Definitely.
In the near future. We'll see.
So yeah, we got that person. Oh, you saw on Discord. All right, maybe some of you might know, but some of you might not know. So we're gonna be highlighting G Unit's account. We're gonna just do that in just a second. But we got somebody new today that nobody has ever heard his voice, but you all know him for sure. I'm pretty sure everybody that's in chat right now watching knows this person. So who do you guys think this person is? Before we introduce him, who do you guys think our newest guest is? I'll give you guys a few seconds here to put it on the comments. Mike, I don't know who that is. Mike Oxlong. I don't know what that is.
Mehmet Ogdun. Hey, what's up, bro? I see you. I see all your messages. There's a lot.
Gollum. Nope.
Gollum?
Nope, it's not Gollum.
Gollum's up there though, huh?
From what I heard, yeah. From what I heard, he's up there. Yep.
Oh, Hierte, if I'm saying that right. Hey, see you in chat from our last season.
So
Cody.
the tactician said Fish Wizard. Germ said Van. Mm-hmm. I'm assuming Van is in vanilla. Nope.
Well, Fish Wizard, I'm pretty sure that's not even his account. It's somebody else's account. But that's a candidate.
Yep. Guerra said CLF. Although it would be cool to have CLF, it's not CLF.
CLF, he's up there, but he's not one of the top 5 biggest spinners, but he's definitely up there.
Yeah.
Him and Gollum are kind of like the same, I think.
All right, guys. Without any further ado, for the first time ever, you guys have no idea how. I don't know why, but I'm really excited actually.
We see that.
Tonight we have Vessi in the house with us. Vessi, how you doing, my friend?
I'm good. How are you guys?
There you go. Look at that. Look at that.
You acting a fool today. I love it.
Oh, it's cool, man.
You super keyed up. I love it.
I'm excited.
I know.
I was, you know what I was doing earlier, right before we started. I think I was going over some of my old images for the game, and I was like, man, how I miss that early seasons of the game. Not just because the whole one commander stuff. It's just there was a feeling of like pureness and like the beginning of it. Yeah. It was so nice. Just like, I remember right before 2.0 hit, I remember sitting with Ombra for like a few hours for like a week. We were working on, and what's up, Ombra? Ombra's in the chat here. I
love Ombra's voice, bro. He is the closest it comes to anybody sound like that dude Mario in the Super Mario games. I love it. Can't get enough of that dude's voice.
Like I remember we were gonna do like a very in-depth guide for each commander back then, and we started with Khaldun. So we're like on voice talking about like the little nuance, like how much extra percentage this gear would give for him. And so I hope Ombra remembers that, because I do remember. It was such a good time. And so, Vessi, even before Vessi started working with Gore on his Discord, I remember very, very early on in the game, chatting with Vessi and stuff. So Vessi is a big part of the community, so it's really awesome to have him with us today.
Yeah, I respect Vessi. He plays, somewhat off meta formations, and he puts a lot of time and energy into the game, studying it and testing stuff, and then disseminating it, breaking it down, all these different synergies and all this, and he puts it out there for the community to help the community. So you always respect somebody like that. Yeah, for me.
All right, guys. So the schedule for tonight is the following. The first thing we're gonna go G Unit Maddox. G Unit's gonna talk a little bit about his account, which is massive. We're We're gonna have a look through. You guys can ask questions about the formations he runs and the weaknesses that he sees. He's been helping a lot in PB doing tests because he has basically almost every commander very high level. After that, we're gonna go. Jax is gonna talk about a couple of things related to our season. And then after we talk about that, we're gonna go into PB. So we're gonna spend the majority of our time talking about PBE. We'll talk about those two things first, and we'll talk about PBE in everything that's been going on in 1 week. And I don't remember getting this many new things or announcements or things coming in a week ever in Rise Tour history. So there's a lot to unpack. All right. So Maddox, time is yours, my friend. If you wanna share your screen, and I'll put it up here on the stream, and then you can
start sharing my screen.
Perfect. Let me just pull that up then.
Let me know if it works.
Yep, give me just a second. Let's see. Here we go. This is the one. All right. Okay, let me pull this part up. Okay, I see that. Let me just pull. Okay. Here we go. That should come up. Yes. All right.
Great. So, as you know, we are currently in a season against you, so I'll just
I know.
I'll chill on my pace. I'll chill on my base to not show too many
no worries.
pins or anything.
We know how that is.
I mean,
we know how that is.
Yeah, I mean the position of the season is quite clear, so it's not the worst thing if it happens by mistake.
Yeah.
All right. So first of all, I would like to give a huge shout out to Raz, who is the owner of this account. So I played NRP with ORDR since season 2. I was also in the season 1, but season 1 was of course RP. So we started in Mordor, and this is why we all kind of naturally went towards the evil side at first. And yeah, I mean the team is great. We didn't have that many Krakens back then. I would say it's mostly active, medium to high spenders, but not necessarily a lot of whales or Krakens. And so over the course of the seasons, we met a few cool people who spend a lot of money on their accounts, and we picked them up along the way. And so G-Unit, we met this account in our season 10. I would like to note this because I think it's very interesting. So when I met him, he had played exactly 3 seasons, and the account has not received any cash since then.
Wow.
So everything you see in this account is 3 seasons of spending.
Yeah.
Which, in my opinion, that's absolutely insane, right? But I'll go into that as well.
It's not that crazy, because like myself, I don't know if I'm the same level, but literally by season 2, I had spent 90% of what I spent in the game. Something
really?
like
Okay.
Yeah, by season 2. I mean, I spent a little recently because I switched from Evo RP to NRP last season, so I needed good comms, good commanders. But it's something like, between the 2 accounts, something like, I don't know, fucking 200,000 or something. But it was all spent. My point is, it was all spent in the first literally 2 seasons. So I understand. You jump in something, if you're kind of you're a professional player, you're looking to compete, you're looking to get in there and, be effective. Whales, Krakens, whatever, this is what they do. It's not uncommon for somebody to jump in a game and immediately within whatever couple months they've already dropped God knows how much amount of disposable income.
Yeah, and remember this too, Jax. You spent on 2 different accounts, right? If everything was in one, holy moly.
Yeah, who could see the future at that time? Because it's like 100,000 into the good and 200, I don't know, something like that into the evil. Some ridiculous amount of money, and it's just, I should have never done it. But, it's a hobby, and people that have some, extra income or whatever they spend on hobbies. If they weren't spending it on the game, maybe they go buy like a nice car, whatever. But you're free to do what you want with your money,
Exactly.
and it helps the game ultimately, because if everybody didn't spend money on the game, we wouldn't be playing this game, straight up.
Absolutely, yeah. I totally agree with that. So we met him in his season 4, and we saw that it was an insane account, and basically G-Unit is a collector, so he didn't care at all about PvP or about meta comps or about winning the ring. He was just like chilling in his little corner for the entire season, and he bought stuff and unlocked commanders and gear, right? So I said to him, hey, do you want to play with us? Do you want to learn the game? Do you want to do some fun stuff? And he said yes, and so we kind of talked on a daily basis for a couple of weeks. I told him everything about battle reports, how the meta works. Of course, it was 1.0 back then, so it was a little bit more complicated in terms of counters, guard switching efficiently, things like that, timing on the same tile. But he picked it up relatively quickly, and then this season, in where we won, he played. We faced VS OP, and G-Unit played like 6 armies that season, and was a big part of our victory, I would say. And then for the next 2 seasons, unfortunately, he got a little bit quiet, and big problem was he got very sick. So unfortunately, he currently suffers from a very serious medical condition, and of course we wish him all the best, and I hope that he gets better soon. And in the meantime, I'll be taking care of his account, because it's a shame to have such an account just lying around, right? And so that's the backstory of G-Unit. Now, in terms of commanders, I did not do the 2.0 transition. It was already like this when I received it. So I guess he logged in once or twice after the 2.0 update and just checked it out very briefly. And we can see that we have a lot of very high Zenith commanders. We have a Zenith 16 Gunner the White, a Zenith 16.
Can you tap on the commander section so people can see what the commanders are?
I actually did, but maybe I'm on the wrong screen. Which you see the PBE, I see. Okay. Yeah, no problem. Okay, so do you see it now?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, so we have a Zenith 16 Gunner the White, a Zenith 16 Witch King. This just requires a few items for Zenith 17, right? So
that's like max, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I've heard people say it goes up to Zenith 24.
Yo, that's maxing up, bro. We're good. We're good.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Oh, come on. You only need 600 for Zenith 17 there. Come on, man.
I don't even think there's enough skill points. I don't even...
Yeah, so this is the PBE, and this is also pretty crazy. Like at, I think what level is it? It's level 50 already. So you can maximize exactly 3.5 titles.
That is nuts, man.
That is pretty insane. Yeah.
I love it.
Ugh.
And I can talk about this a little bit later, but actually maximizing this or putting this title to 5 stars is very important in the Kraken fights.
Yeah.
Because this does play a significant role over 10 rounds.
Yeah.
So just to keep that in mind, like the respect here is not wasted on the Gunner of the White. On the Dane, of course, it is totally wasted. So we have the Zenith 13 Dane.
Yeah.
There's nothing I can do here because
it is
playing
so
cavalry
wasted.
now in the PBE, so
that fourth skill tree is so wasted. And then now with the meta being Bone Knights on everybody, then even Power Bloodline goes wasted.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a bit of a shame, but we got some reworks on Wednesday. Who knows? Maybe there will be some more reworks in the PBE. Then we have Zenith 13 Sauron. On Sauron, I also like the high respect because I mean his focus damage is not that high, but the Gothar with the high Zenith Gunner of the White is very nice, right? You get the plus 15% focus damage received for 2 rounds.
That is true.
This can play a role. And I mean here it's just the plus 5 focus. This is not that relevant, but I would say like this title, it has changed the outcome of a few of my fights in the PvE. Then we have a Zenith 4 Beorn, so this is the weakest one in the meta formation that I have. It's not Zenith 6, which means on the live season I can't maximize the enemy of the orcs.
Yeah, that's true.
But I noticed a lot of players do not have a high respect Beorn, and I guess it's because he came out pretty late, right? Compared to the other commanders.
Yeah.
So I could put him to Zenith 6 if I wanted to, but I haven't found it really that necessary, to be honest. So then we have a Zenith 12 Gilgalad. We already saw the Witch King. Witch King is sadly not playable in NRP right now, so
that may change. That may change.
It may change, yes.
We'll talk when we get to the PvE. There's some results I can test on something that we talked about last week, but go on.
For sure. You know what? I'm just gonna switch to my live season quickly, because then we can see I run the Witch King in my second formation right now. If are people interested in that, I don't know.
Let's go.
Yeah. Okay. So let me just quickly share the other screen. You should see it now.
Yeah, we can see it.
Great. So what I'm doing, we are currently at a pretty good resource situation, so I can run 3 armies quite easily. I'm just gonna scroll down a bit. So this is basically my second army right now, and I'm using the Witch King as type of damage dealer support commander, right? He has the stun from the Nazgul, the stun from the Lord of the Nazgul, and then some attack focus and defense reduction. And this actually doesn't work too bad. I mean, we're fighting. He has a Gunner of the White. He has a Dane. It's not the best setup, but also, you know, it's not that bad. So like this is a decent result for a second army, I would say. So I do use him for the second army, but for the first one, it's just not playable, right? So that's the Witch King. Then we have a Zenith 13 King Aragorn. For the second army, we have a Zenith 12 Undying.
That is a beauty right there, man.
I really like the Undying. I think he has potential, but it's just the consistency problems. Now, we are getting a lot of Mithril in next week, so this account is getting a lot of Mithril next week. So I might actually consider refining this a bit and seeing if it impacts the fight. But yeah, I mean, very cool. And then what's really interesting about the G-Unit account is he has a lot of tier 1 and tier 2 commanders at the Zenith level.
Really?
Which is really interesting.
Nice.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, so I have a Zenith 3 Gandalf the Grey here, right?
Nice.
Oh, hold on one second, let me jump in. Hey, fellow, can you switch your position to the left because people can't see the gear?
Yes.
Thanks, sorry.
Make myself a little bit smaller. Or actually, this way then. Oh, the gear.
And then,
let's do this.
Maddox, if you can just
Here
at some point go over, if you can just highlight every commander that has gear and just show them all off at some point too, that'd be perfect.
Sure. Yeah. I'll do that after I show all of the commanders, okay? If that's fine. So yeah, Zenith 3 Gandalf the Grey. He's cool for the White Council, but I mean, yeah, it's okay. The problem is he doesn't really have a lot of other stuff going on for him. I just played the Mithrandir for the defense, the White Council shred in the first few rounds, but it's not that amazing. And then you have the defense minus here. So let's just quickly focus on the tier 2 commander. So there is a Zenith 3 Gandalf the Grey here. There is a Zenith Theoden. Let me just see if I can find it here. A Zenith 2 Theoden. This was quite useful for the PPE testing, right? Then there is a Zenith Arven.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean I don't use her, but it's funny if you have it. And there is a Zenith 2 Aragorn II as well. And I think those are the tier 2 commanders that this account has at the Zenith level. And then if we check the tier 1s, so I have an R14 Mythic Khaldun. This just goes to show that the conversion back then, it was really impossible to immediately have a Zenith 1 tier 1 commander, right?
Yeah.
Which is a shame, but yeah.
It will change. It will change soon enough.
Yeah,
exactly. Talk about a fall from godhood, like a god that became immortal, man. Khaldun.
Absolutely. Such a shame. And
Supreme
talking about fall.
Buddy.
Sorry.
I said this is like the supreme god of gods just becomes nobody.
Exactly.
Yeah, we go from talking about this guy in basically every single video podcast. See, everybody's talking about the frenzy Khaldun or the frenzied wall, and now nothing.
You know what it reminds me of? If you remember the old Superman, the original Superman movies, probably none of you do. Christopher Reeves.
Yep, I do.
He chose to give back his powers as Superman to become immortal. He chose to just, give it away and just become mortal. That's what happened to Khaldun, but he didn't choose it.
Yeah, that's right. And talking about a fall from grace, so this account also has Zenith 11 Sunend, right? Unfortunately, completely unplayable currently, and a Zenith 11 Black Serpent, and basically all of the tier 3s, I think, except for some of the evil ones, are we have a Zenith 1 Ogluk here, Kironis at Zenith 1, Zenith 12 Isildur, Zenith 3 Cyrdan, Thranduil. There's a really high Elrond as well, a Thorin at 11, so like the depth of this account is really impressive. That's what I want to show. However, I will say in terms of the meta formation, as I said, the Bjorn is only at Zenith 4, which is probably why some of the other accounts that currently exist in the game might be a little bit might be considered a little bit higher, because you don't see any of these comms on the battlefield, right? So
well, some of them, I'm not gonna say they're great, like Sinead. She can be useful. I find use in Sinead currently, and I think after PB, Sinead and like Black Serpent and a few others, I think maybe they can find a place. We'll see.
It would be very nice. I would be totally down for that. So that would be very cool. Yeah, and then we have, I mean, the lower end of the bunch, right? These guys. We're not really gonna push them too much.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are the commanders. Now I should show my gear, right? Do you want me to just show a battle report and kind of explain what I am doing and why I am doing it, or?
Yeah, show a couple of reports.
Yeah. Okay. So let's do that. I'm just gonna take the fast one I have here. So this is against Knechter, who is obviously also a German speaker. And this is pretty much how most of my reports go against the medium to higher Yachts and Gods players, right? I mean, Yachts and Gods are pretty good teams. They have some very good players, some very nice accounts, and so my thinking at the start of the season was, we don't have that many Krakens in ORDR. In total, we have 3. And I want to have the biggest impact for my team, but I also want this impact to be consistent. So if I spend 20 energy and I dive on a stack of high spenders, I want to do something by hitting this stack. What I don't want is an army where I can get unlucky sometimes against even against some of the not so high players, because that will really impact our fights overall negatively. So I need to make sure that with every hit that I do, I kill as much as possible and it's as consistent as possible, right?
Yeah.
So that's my reasoning behind my current build. And I think a lot of people were a little bit maybe caught off guard, or they didn't really know like that this build works in this way. So what I did was I looked at a bunch of our opponent's reports, and I determined the speed at which my Sauron is faster than the full focus unit defense Gandalf the Whites, and that my Sauron is slower than the enemy Barons. And what I noticed this season was that a lot of the enemy Barons, they played at least one agility set, okay? Which is, I would say this is the correct way to play Baron. This means my Sauron needs to be in between the Gandalf the White and the Baron, right? So that in round 3, if my Sauron is slower than the enemy Baron, I have a chance to inflict madness, and then the enemy Baron has a chance to nuke the enemy's own army. That's the first point. The second point, the pre-battle phase. A lot of the really good Yats players, like the I will show the contribution ranking because I know this player. We played with him for a season, but I don't know how to pronounce his name because it's a squiggly symbol. This guy, for example, I think he's a very good player, and like all of these types of players, they have access to 1.0 gear on the Sauron. Okay, yep. I don't have that on the G-Unit account. I can show the gear in a second as well, but we only have the 2.0 gear. So immediately, like my thought was, it's not a good idea for me to compete with their Saurons in the pre-battle phase, because first of all, the percentage chance that you steal the relevant title from Sauron is quite small, and agility does pretty much nothing for the rest of the fight if you don't get it in the pre-battle phase.
Yep.
And secondly, I wanted to have this big win chance in round 4. And so this is why I decided to make a tanky Sauron. And we can see here, if I play War Dramas on him, we reach 191 defense with the power of the Bloodline boost. So Sauron obviously boosts the Orcs, which is why this works kind of nicely hand in hand. And why do I play the War Dramas? This is another big part of the build. So if I play tanky War Dramas, they will be alive for 10 rounds. Which means in every single round, I will boost the damage of 2 allied formations by 20%.
Yep.
And if you think about this, this is pretty insane, right? Like if Dane's Durin Blood gets boosted by 20%, Baron's Skin Changer gets boosted by plus 20%, that's a lot of extra damage. Yeah.
Yep.
And the other big reason is the remotivate. So this is just a nice extra, I would say. If they are alive for 10 rounds, you also have a pretty good chance to cleanse some debuffs from time to time.
Love it.
Right. So this is the Sauron build that I run, and I have to say it did pretty well for me this season. Of course, sometimes you can get unlucky. You know, that's the nature of the game. If I play against a really good player and he outspeeds me and steals my Gandalf the White stuff and my Sauron stuff, then likely I will, you know, not lose the fight, but I will draw less favorably than I want to. So this is something that I just said I will accept this, right? And if we look at the reports here, I mean, we're fighting a lot of gods now, and I mean, yeah, it's very similar across the board, right? Here's, for example, where I hit the stack and I kill. This guy was already dead, but I kill like 2 players who are pretty full and who play cavalry as well, right? Pretty expensive builds.
Yep.
Tier 4s here. We can look at, maybe I will find one of the Formosa is a pretty good player. I mean, this, like a report like this, you have to understand I'm fighting people who are pretty good, right? Like to the viewers, like these are good players.
Yeah,
like also Zenith level, pretty smart builds. I'm not just fighting like random players, right? And I mean, to me, trading like this is really good. Like, this is a pretty good report, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah. I mean, of course, the G unit has the respect on most of them. I will say that Snoopy is a pretty good player, if I remember correctly. Zenith 4, Gandalf the White, Zenith 1, Sauron, Zenith 7, Dane, Zenith 1 Bjorn. Like this is also, he wasn't full, yeah, but it's a good trade. And this is basically what I've been rocking this season as the first team. I will show the other commanders in my first team as well, if people are interested. Should I show
Yeah.
I mean, Dane and Bjorn are pretty standard, right?
Yes.
We already talked a bit about Bjorn, so I'm a huge fan of this helmet. This is fantastic. This is, I don't understand, some players, they play the attack helmet here, and they play the defensive chest here. Maybe it's because they don't have the passive on this helmet, but what you have to consider is this helmet gives 130 command, and that's that decreases the damage the formation takes, right?
Yeah.
In every single round from every single hit. And the chest doesn't give you that. So this is why I really like this helmet. I think it's very good, and one defense item is pretty much a must if you fight against the top players. So I'm playing that. The other items are the best in slot attack and damage, right?
Yep.
I guess most players are familiar with this. The chest, this chest is also important because it gives +6 initiative, and then I play half an agility set. So everyone who doesn't play a full agility set on the Bjorn and plays the same troops, which are pretty much standard across the board, I would say, I'm probably faster than them, right? So that's the idea behind Bjorn. Bjorn should go before the enemy Bjorn so that you can inflict the madness. Yeah, so I guess this makes sense to most people, right?
Yeah. I mean, the meta builds are pretty standard, but I do like that you're doing something different than other people are. I remember playing probably a couple seasons back on the evil account, and War Drummers they boosted a little bit the difference between good side and evil side in RP because of the 20% extra damage. So I like that you're running War Drummers.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, we also have access to them, so it's easy to run them, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But, if we look here in the round 4, I'm trying to find one of the reports. This is a perfect example. So look at this round 4, right?
Yeah, look at that.
Like the difference.
Wow.
So what happens here is my War Drummers give the Bjorn plus 20% damage dealt for the skin changer, and some of the people I chatted with, they didn't know this. This is active for all 3 instances of skin changer.
Exactly, because it's for the whole round.
So you can see it here. Inspirations damage dealt continues to affect Bjorn, and for the last hit as well, inspirations damage dealt continues to affect Bjorn. Right? If you count this damage, this is insane. Like you have 27k, 31k, this is 48k damage from one title. Like.
That's huge. That's insane.
That's just crazy, yeah. And this guy doesn't play Bjorn, but maybe I can... if you look at some of the reports, you will see that the enemy Bjorn who doesn't get this plus 20% skin changer boost, he will do a lot less damage.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
That's why I really like the War Drummers. So the Bjorn we talked about. The Dane, I have found this set to be optimal. The Might and the Fortitude. If I don't play the Fortitude on Dane, he sometimes can die a little bit earlier in the fight, and I don't like that. I just like him to live 10 rounds. And again, the Cask of the Submerged Isle, right? I really like this item, as I already said. I also played this chest again, because I do like my Dane to have a good chance of being faster than the enemy Dane, because of the 30% chance to inflict stun on the target for 1 round, right? So this means every time my Dane goes before the enemy Dane, I have a slight chance to stun the enemy Dane with my Dane. So this is just a quick side note. I don't see this as a reason to run an agility set here, but it's nice to have the +6 initiative chest. And some people are missing this, which gives me a little bit of an edge here as well. And I also have the Dane unique fully refined, 3% damage.
Yeah, that's huge. Man, that is disgusting.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, the nice thing about your account right now is that when all those changes that are gonna be happen, all your T1s and T2s are gonna be likely boosted by a big margin.
Exactly. Yeah. I already calculated. I will get 144,000 respect that I can use for the account.
Nice.
Which is pretty cool, right?
That
so I might play around with some ascended tier 1s and tier 2s. we will see.
Sweet. All right, just for us to close then, Matix, can you show us the I think we all want to see the gear, the items tab in your to see
Absolutely.
just how far that thing goes.
Put your sunglasses on. Put your sunglasses on.
So before we go through this, I just want to say I refunded all of the uniques when I took over the account. So I messaged the support and they refunded me. The guy had unlocked like every unique, or like almost every unique, so I got like 40 uniques refunded or something
Wow.
like that.
You're the first person I've ever seen that has more uniques than me. That's awesome.
Really?
Yeah,
That's cool.
I have 12. You've got 15. I love it.
Nice. Yeah, and I did the refund. I wanted to. So the Skull Helm is not Zenith on this account. Just a quick note, but when I get the respect vouchers on Wednesday, I will probably put her Zenith and play around with her a little bit. I did refine the Skull Helm unique to max. I don't know if it's that useful, to be honest. The Gilgalad evasion hurts this quite badly in the PBE, but yeah, at the time most people agreed refining the Skull Helm unique is pretty good. So I did that, and then I also maximized the Dane unique.
Nice.
And this
nice,
is a lot of mithril, right? This
Yeah.
is it's a lot. Yeah, and then I just unlocked the uniques of the commanders who I considered playing in the A, B, or C team, right? So that's what I did for the uniques, and
Perfect.
I maximized all in terms of strengthening. So the gear, I can just scroll
Just-
through
yeah.
it slowly, I guess.
I think we all want to get a 10 really quick, so let's let that sun hit us in the face right there.
Sure.
I'm needing a 10.
Hey, Atriox, I see you in chat.
Holy moly, there's more uniques.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, some of the uniques I didn't equip them because I'm not using.
Oh,
those commanders.
shit, you got 16, 17, 18, 19 uniques. My bad.
The beauty though is whenever that update comes around, they're only gonna cost 10 mithril. So,
Yeah,
oh my lord,
he's going to be sitting pretty, definitely.
Woo, keep that coming.
We're still on weapons.
You can see I have some stuff fully strengthened and refined lying around as well. So
You know, stupid rich people problems.
It goes back to helmet.
yep. And there it ends. So
Love it.
the
So good.
Sure.
That is beauty, man. That is awesome.
Well, thank you for, showing all this and talking. It was great to have you, man. Now we got to get to the next point in the show, which is, I think, we doing the season or are we doing PB? I guess we're doing the season.
Let's do the let's do the season right now.
Yeah, some of you were asking about certain individuals when last time we showed this, and we'll talk about one of them's here, so he had a lot to say, and it was very insightful. So, and we'll talk about one other one while we got time on the merit leaderboard. I think he's top in merit, and then we'll look at a few things here and there, and we'll get to PBE with all these new changes. Man, I got to tell you, I don't know about everybody else, and everybody in this chat, chime in, please. But I am really, really happy. I mean, it's just one step in the right direction after another, and we're climbing this hill of discontent. So I'm super happy with the developers. I hope more changes are coming. I really hope that they continue to tweak and buff the troop commanders and unit damage, because we still need that, because the meta is still the dominant meta, and we want a little bit more balance. But you're doing great, and we love it. Keep it coming.
All right, man. Let's get talking about this crazy season right here. All right, stick it to the facts. Jackson and I, we also know, and also Vessi are all fighting G Unit Matix and his crew. So, Blue Kingdom here, Youths and Gods. We've taken the southeast part of Middle Earth. If we zoom out, you will see We basically taken center, not center, but not the ring, center down all the way to the Darklands. Okay, on the left, on the southern west side, you have a kingdom called Neon. Okay, they've been fighting in these two fronts, mostly against gods, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see here. Yep, gods is over here, fighting on these two fronts. Yep, there we go. Neon and gods.
You know what this season is like. You know what I thought of last night.
What?
Because we're fighting the whole server, right? And it's something like 1,000 versus 200.
Something like that. Something.
And there's been breakthroughs, like we can't hold everywhere. And some of these teams, like HISP over in the east, have broken through and went down, took a territory, and it reminds me of the movie 300, or the historical story of the Spartans at Thermopylae, and that is what's happening right here.
Yeah.
In there's 8 different Thermopylaes where a few guys are standing against the masses everywhere and doing their damn best and using gods to just hold back the tide of just constant swarm everywhere. I mean, it's nuts. It's nuts.
Yeah, I mean, just I think yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, one of these two passes, I think, no, it was the Fangorn one. The Fangorn one, Neon broke through, started invading the land here where Gods is situated, but I don't know how, because Gods has also helped fighting Ilio and Order. I don't know how they pushed them back and took the crossing back, or took the pass back, but you can see they're right here at the door again. Okay, so you got all these Neon players here. Theo, it's a team called Theo, and then a team called Neon, I believe. So they're here at the door again in this crossing, and Gauze is trying to keep them back from from crossing to this side again. We need our defenses, man. It's crazy the amount of people we're fighting. We need to hold at these choke points, because it's just too hard to hold. I mean, it is 5 kingdoms, but not all 5 kingdoms are the same level. So you got Neon over here on the southeast. These guys here, I believe they're just doing their own thing. Aped, Kum, and Luna, I think they're just doing their own thing. You got Ilio and Order in the Green Kingdom here. So essentially northwest, a little bit northwest, and now they've taken Dol Guldur.
Yeah, that's a recent update.
Yep.
They got the ring.
They got the ring.
Yep.
Right. Okay, and then they've been fighting here. They've been pushing. We had pushed them all the way back to this crossing over here, but then now they're basically they pushed us back all the way to this region here. Okay, and then we got these other mark right here as well. These 2 marks right here. Up north, you got 2 other kingdoms. You got the blood red kingdom, the Russie, LCDR. I believe that's the French team we played with last season as well. They're hitting us from this top part of the map, and then on the north, towards the northeast, you have then Bull and Dome, who for a very long time, were messing around with us in this region right here. Okay, Ashen Plains, but this has gone quiet now, and they're hitting us very hard from this side. And last but not the least, I held these guys to talk last because, man, these guys have been amazing at their thing. Okay, so we've held for days HISP and Free. HISP is a Hispanic, probably one of the biggest Hispanic teams in this game. They have a pretty strong community. Halfadar, he is the content creator for Rise Toward in Spanish. If you guys haven't checked out his channel yet, so we held them here for a very, very, very long time, but then they gather some really hard, large numbers. And they took the crossing, and they had the crossing. They took the pass, and man, as soon as this broke, they scattered like ants. These guys, I mean, this was basically yesterday. They already took this here, the Eastern Wastes, and they've moved all the way down over here. Let me see. Lord has taken this back. Yep. They came all the way over here earlier and then crossed to this crossing right here, but it seems we took it back already. Okay? But these guys moved so fast on the map. They tile like crazy. And the cool thing about them is as soon as 2.0 hit, some of the things people talked about were, tiling is over. Tiling is gone. There's no more tiling. There's no more nothing. Man, these guys proved us wrong. These guys have been tiling like crazy, and not just tiling to take tiles. They've been playing it very, very, very smart. For countless times, our teams were reinforcing, and they would just snipe our reinforcements. They sniped so many reinforcements because they would just watch. They would just watch where we were going. They sought the route that the reinforcements were going through and just sniping through them. And so, this season, I'm on this side of the map. I was right next to the pass, and they uprooted me yesterday or 2 days ago. I was right here, right next to the pass, and it probably was one of the first ones to get taken out. So the 2 points here that I wanted to make from fighting HISP for the last week or so. Tiling is not over. Taking the ability to take tiles, or having players, even the big players who are also part, our team players that help taking tiles, goes a long way. But the other thing is, paying attention to reinforcement lines and taking them out. You guys have maybe you guys do. I don't know if many teams are actually adopting this strategy, but taking out reinforcements is a big hindrance on your enemy's movement. Imagine there's 10 guys reinforcing, waiting to take you out. They reinforce for 30, 40 minutes. 10 minutes before the reinforcements arrive, you snipe them. That's out of the 40 minutes that that they just lost. So it's a big those two things alone. I hope players and teams are gonna start looking into these other types of strategies other than just PvP. There are more things that you can do than PvP. You can make the main armies from big players waste stamina. I'm not gonna share my secrets because you guys gonna have to fight our team to find out. But huge shout out to the HISP team this season, man. The reason why I'm shouting them out is because I am playing against them right now, and so it's just awesome to see a team do other things, than just focus on the PvP aspect. Huge.
Yeah. So we're trying to hold as much as we can. It's getting more difficult. Let's look at the leaderboards and we'll talk about one other guy and move on to PvE discussion.
Yeah, and then show the thing that you wanted to show as well about Witch King.
Oh yeah. We'll talk about that in PvE. Well, everybody, we're all going to talk about what's the results that we found, and you got some new people here to chime in, and so let's see what are we looking at? Merit. Okay, so let's look at the top 50 real quick. Rocky's still holding it down at number 1.
Yep, we got Tirgon 2, CLF.
Yeah, I had some questions about Rocky from some people, so we're going to talk about him. Check your messages real quick.
Yeah, I got the images. No worries.
We don't have time to talk about more than a couple people. We're just going to talk about a couple, and then we'll get to PvE.
Over here, you got Law, you got Price, you got Mo, Shogun, Dactronic. Shout out to the Pirates.
There's G Unit right there.
SPC Moon, Jeff, Buri Devil, Loopy, Mr. Slay, the squiggly one, Suna. The nice thing now, having the merit being public, people are going to push each other. They're going to push themselves, because before it's just basically merit between your teams, but now it's between everybody. So you want to be at the very top. Yeah, Francis.
That guy, I found out, the fences guy with the ILO.
Mm-hmm.
It's not 27 accounts. I was wrong. It's actually a strategy those guys use, there's a bunch of different individuals playing with the same name.
Yep.
So,
They just do IL, you know,
right.
and then people don't know who they are because it's just they're not counting how many ILs there are. So
yeah. All right, so there's the top 50. Let's go to the top of the list. We had some questions about Rocky. We're going to talk about Rocky and bring those screenshots up. He is first in merit.
What were the question about Rocky?
They just wanted, the people were saying, let's talk more. You know, we want more information about these people, you know. So Rocky's first. You can see him there. He was first last season, too.
Yep.
And probably this season.
That guy doesn't stop fighting. Rocky's a beast.
Yeah,
I think the last 3 seasons he's been top merit for us.
Has he?
I think so.
So the thing about Rocky, and I'm new with this group, so I can only give you what I've seen since I've been here. But I got to tell you, the dude's an all-around superstar because he will be at the front fighting. He will be 3 or 4 towel cleaners, cleaning reds. He will have 2 or 3 siege formations, cleaning forts. Non-stop, constant team player, all-around humble guy. Just can't say enough good things about him from what I've seen. And I wanted to show you just what kind of guy you're dealing with here. So there are some free-to-play players in this server and every server. When this guy fights free-to-play players, and he knows it, I want to show you, and he doesn't know I'm doing any of this. I did this on my own, but I want to show you what he does. So show the screenshots. This is what he does when he fights free-to-play. This tells you all you need to know about it. Hold on a minute on that. Kendra, hold on a minute. Yeah, show the gear. So he throws on basic gear, right? When he's fighting free. Look at this. This is what he does when he's fighting free to play. He puts on blue and purple, not even nothing. Just throws that on and fights him. Look at that. That's the kind of guy he is. That tells you all you need to know right there.
That is really cool.
So then you can look at his regular gear when he's fighting and see, all right, well, what's this guy doing to be top in merit? Well, he's playing a lot and he's successful at it, number one. But here's his gear, so you have questions about that. You can look at his gear now.
So that's him regularly. Yes, this is his regular gear. Yep.
That's his regular gear. Yep, there it is. So now you know a little bit more about Rocky.
Yep. That is pretty awesome, though. I don't remember the last time I this is the first time I've seen this. That's pretty dope. Yo, huge shout out to Rocky. Jeez. And this is the cool thing, right? Just looking on an account, you know, on an account level, he doesn't have the craziest account, and yet, how does he always get high merits? There are a couple reasons, but the guy just doesn't stop fighting. It's awesome. We have a lot of people like that in our team. Just, you know, they try to do the best builds that they possibly can and just stay as active as possible. One final thing before we move on then to PvE. All right. There are, from my experience from playing with small teams, very small teams, and now playing with a very big team, every other aspect of the game other than PvP impacts the game, the outcome, a lot more than we think. I've seen this time and time again. You know, sieging, tiling, cutting enemy lines, all those things play a huge role. You know, and every time I'm playing, I'm like, man, there's no PvP right now. Obviously, just like you guys, I'm looking for PvP. I want to win. I want to test my commanders and win the fights. Every time I'm kind of, you know, thinking of being a bit lazy and not do the other things because, you know, PvP is not on right now. I just think every single tile I take pushes back my enemy 5, 10, 15, 30 minutes every single time. So those little things, those incremental wins right there can help my team do things that they might need in the future. And just let me demonstrate what I mean by this really quick, and then we'll move on to PvP. Okay, we are a basically a 200 team. It's youths and gods, just us, fighting the rest of the teams. Now you got a little team here called Lord, who's been taking time. I mean, my spawn region in the season was right here, and they've taken everything. Both Lord and Hisp have taken basically 35% of my tiles. So my production has dipped quite a bit. So we're fighting these guys. So we got, let's say, just for the matter of simplicity, we're fighting 150 people here, and then 150 in every single team here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. That's 750 players versus 200. And you guys know that at the end of the day, this is a numbers game. So every little inch that I can gain my team on this side, if we ever need backup from any other of the fronts, that's time I'm giving my team back. So we've been talking, in our ward council, about how much these other, and these other things that you have to do in a season has been helping or hurting us as a team, other than just PvP. Kristen in the chat said here, AKA bad diplomacy. Maybe, I don't know, maybe. Or maybe it's a choice we made to test our team. You never know. All right, so let's get moving.
Well, we are getting put to the test.
Exactly. Oh, definitely.
It is fucking official.
Yes. And at the same time, though, Jax, I think you'd agree that it's been really fun. Or no?
It reminds me, like I said, of the unbalanced shit show clown fiesta, War of the Rings, and 4.
Oh yeah, I mean, I was at that time. I was on the good side, so I don't know what clown fiesta would mean. Because I was on the team. I didn't play against you, but I was on a team that was like 7v1, the evil team.
Well, I'll explain it to you for those that don't know. Season 4. I don't know how this happened, but turns out that there were a lot more people that chose good side than evil side.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And turns out that there was no cap on the amount of one side versus the other. So, for instance, in our season, it was a 7 or 8 good side player versus evil player ratio. And out of, I could be wrong on this, but I believe 30 War of the Ring servers, only 3 evil ended up winning. That's what I mean when I say unbalanced shit show clown fiesta.
Yep.
You all?
Yep.
All right. Have a good weekend. Let's see.
I was there just on the winning side at the time.
Yeah, I wasn't.
Props to you guys for fighting the whole server. Makes it a really fun experience for everyone, I think.
It is. It's been fun. It's been one of the best servers so far for me since 2.0 at least. Probably the best server actually since 2.0 hit for me. Non-stop fighting, that's what we want. All right, guys. PBE. Guys in the chat, how you guys liking the new skills so far? I do think there's going to be other skills being worked and reworked. I think that's just the first batch. Back in PBE, the first PBE, there were changes being done to skills. They just didn't let us know at the time. Now it's kind of surprising to wake up the day that they launched, the update on PBE with a list of the skills that were changed. That was very surprising. So I think more things are gonna be coming. What do you think, Vessi?
Yeah, I think there's changes coming.
Now, do you think, a quick question here, do you think they're gonna implement the changes that we saw today? Is it today? I can't believe now. I can't remember now. The whole respect refunds and all that stuff. Do you really think they're gonna implement that before all the commander changes are done?
Yeah, I think typically what they do is whenever they make announcements like that, they do it like 1 to 2 weeks in advance.
I really hope they don't. This morning, as soon as I woke up and saw those things, I took a screenshot of, of the announcement, sent it to Sax, and I said, please look, these changes are pretty good, but let them know that they're gonna make players very, very angry if they release this before all the changes for commanders is done, because it makes no sense.
Yeah, that or just do a whole second set of respect refunds.
I know, but that sounds so, I mean, I know who we're talking about here, but it sounds so counterintuitive to do that. Refund what you want, then at the end of at the official end of PBA again. Here, here's another voucher for you. Makes no sense.
Yeah, I agree. I think they should probably wait as well.
I hope they do. But let's have a quick look here so far. Everybody's been talking about. So Jax earlier talked about Witch King. Jax, want to comment on your Witch King a little bit here? And I'll share the screen I'll share the screen of your reports here, and you can talk about
well, you can show the reports. Yeah, just show those screenshots. I've had 3 or 4 tests. It's Enid's build that he put together that I mentioned last time that he thought would be good. He didn't have the exact right gear to put it together optimally. I don't know that I do either, but it seems to have worked. So this is in PBE. This is against the meta. Yeah, I mean, pretty good results. Very happy you can show his gear. Pretty good gear. Pretty similar levels. Yeah, and then I think I got one more I can give you. Hold on, let me find it here. Let's see here. Yeah, here's another one. This is a bit higher levels. So the idea with what I'm doing here, and you can show my gear or whatever, and oh well, you can't show the gear on there. I'd have to send it anyway. The Witch King has high command, Sauron has high focus and a bit of speed, and Dane and Lurtz or whatever, just regular normal best in slot stuff that you can do. But the idea is between Sauron and Witch King, and this is also luck. You need a little luck. But the idea is that Sauron and Witch King debuff the 2 damage dealers in the meta comps, Dane and Bjorn, enough to the point that your damage dealers can do more than theirs and win the fight, and have positive results like this. It's a draw, but for Evil RP players, this is a win. Because for a long time we have no solution for this meta comp. Here's another pretty good formation, not exactly meta, a little bit off, but I was happy with the results. Not all the same, because you look at his gear and his levels, it's pretty optimized.
Yeah, it is.
So that's what I found. That's my reports, and I look forward to hearing from everybody else here about what they've been testing and they found that's working. I'm excited.
All right, Vesti, let's hear what you have to say. What do you think of PBE so far?
So I think really everything that was meta is still pretty meta, but there are a few who kind of bumped up in the rankings, so to speak. Really, the old meta will still work so far. The Sauron, the Gandalf, the White, Dane, Bjorn. The ones that are the ones that are coming up, Gil's kind of becoming more of a thing. So is Undying. He kind of fits into that as well.
Yeah.
How are people running Undying and getting results, Vessi?
So they're kind of running a command unit defense build.
Essentially the evil version of Gil.
Essentially, yeah. So he needs ranged units, and then he needs a he needs a protection unit to cancel out splash damage.
Yeah.
I see. Can you run Undying and Guild together, or they cancel each other?
They cancel.
I thought so.
Yeah. So what I tested earlier in the week, and I asked, and shout out to Rain Wizard for helping with this, was to see if they would stack. They did it. They don't stack. But the thing is, the only thing that you get from that is commander evasion applies then. So if you run, you've run Gil your tank and Undying separate, Gil gives the troops the evasion, and then Undying's evasion doesn't apply to troops so they're already with evasion, but the commanders get evasion. But it doesn't really do anything to you. It goes to waste if you did that. I've been testing it quite a bit with that. So nice. What I do like about Undying as the tank, with the good RNG, you can get White Council to last until like rounds 5 and 6, which is nice. But again, it is RNG dependent. There's a lot of factors that go into this, right? You have if they're running melee units, works fantastic. But if they're running ranged units, then they're no longer after round 2 if you're running Swan Knights, they're no longer hitting that unit, so because they're ranged, they can hit the other ranged units and wipe away one of your evasion instances. But if you get the right iron, in our RNG, then you're good to go. But I still prefer Gil. I do think at a higher level, Undying does bring a lot more to the team. Not more as in he would be better, but then he brings from his R3 and his R5 or our top R0 and R3 helps you wipe out White Council faster. And also nice healing there. Interestingly enough, Vessi, you mentioned this earlier in Gore's Discord. We were talking, with Thanatos and stuff. You mentioned the whole healing around round 5, and when I was just thinking about the healing, I was thinking if I had my Undying at R5, I wouldn't max out his healing, because I actually don't want that big chunk of healing to go too early, because White Council might still be activated, and basically, nothing would happen. Like barely any healing would come from it. So
no, yeah, that's exactly right. So they removed that round 4 healing. It actually was a little bit of a boost.
Yeah,
not only that, but you'll avoid heal debuffs as well.
Yeah, I loved it. I was like, wow, that's kind of interesting. If I was gonna run Undying, I wouldn't go 10 out of 10 on the R5. So that kind of worked perfectly. So that was kind of cool. What do you think of Kirun though? Everybody's been asking about Kirun. By the way, shout out to Ghost here. 14 months strong, my friend. I appreciate the support, Ghost. Thank you, my friend. We are I hope everybody here is doing well. I'm doing pretty well though.
You gotta ask Scar what she thinks of the Karun changes. She's a big fan.
Scar, she said she said she'd be on and off. If you're on right now, Scar, who have you been testing in PBE?
Forward this question to Fen. He's been testing Kieran, I think.
Yeah.
Oh.
Whoa. I haven't tested Kieran out yet. The newest one yet.
So I ran a few tests before they actually made the other skill changes. And he wasn't doing very well. Rain Wizard only has like an R9 one, but maybe I saw G-Unit has a Zenith one. We can maybe test that out still in the future.
Yeah. Jax, you also have a pretty high Zenith, don't you, on the Kirun?
Let me check. It's Z4. I tested before the changes, and like I said, the max I got him up to was 120k, but that was there's a caveat to that, disclaimer that the guy was running all Eagles or whatever, and I also think he's still not great, still not good.
So his new skill, the Preacher skill, it only has like a 1% scaling too, so it's not going to be a super huge amount of damage reduction.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
I
Kieran,
think you said it perfectly in the Discord server, Vessi. The stat reductions, they don't really do anything. So in essence, the R3 is just it sounds good on paper, but it doesn't really affect the fight, right?
Yeah. So all of those the stat skills are just they're kind of garbage. But at least you can put 1 point and not get a free madness every once in a while.
yeah, exactly. That's true. Yep. Yeah, Kieran is a weird dude here. Now they've gone to CC on 2 skills, damage damage boost on the R5 or R4, if you wanna call it that now, and then damage reduction on the top R0.
One problem I noticed with the Preacher title, so I played around with him a bit because he's my one of my favorite commanders since season 1. So the Preacher, if you play Kirun, let's say as a tanky frontline, it can happen if you fight against a strong player that he dies before his troops die, and that's a very big problem in the Kraken fights. Yeah, even if you go the full unit defense command build and you face the meta 3 support 1 DD army or 2 supports 2 DD army, I've had like several instances where the Kirin is like dead by around 6 or 7. So I'm not sure why they put this thing in the title that he receives extra damage. I don't think this title is so strong that it needs a drawback. So that's just something I noticed.
Yeah, it's not that strong. I mean, at most you'll get like 18% on 2 formations, but that's kind of what they like to do to evil side. They like to give them buffs and then take stuff away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Saruman looking solid though. What do you guys think? Head of the White Council.
Yeah, he got a significant boost there.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
A lot of the evil roleplay diehard guys are very worried that they're going to take this away. So I hope they don't.
No, I think they will stay. I think unless people come, like, you know, unless people say it's OP, which I don't think it is at all.
No, I don't either.
You know, I think it's a needed boost, especially for people that are gonna continue playing RP. Gives them a new commander. No, I mean, I know a lot of people use him because he was already decent, but it gives them a really good commander. I feel like if you have his relic maxed out, and you have 3 damage skills, I do think he's gonna be a very, very strong commander. One reason being that you don't have, unless you cap the 1.0 focus gear, anti-focus gear, it's not easy to reduce focus damage. You got unit defense to reduce, to reduce physical damage, but you don't have gear to counter focus. You can say, yeah, but you got command, and the high command you get, then that you're able to counter. But it's not really true because this is both for physical and elemental damage. So if this is protecting you from focus damage, it's already protecting you from physical. So I think it's gonna be interesting to see how he plays out. I'm kind of excited to see a lot of people playing with him.
I think he is what he was supposed to be all along in the lore. And he got his respect, and he's where he's supposed to be now. So I don't think you need to change it at all.
Against Jacob, is focus damage now a thing PBE? Well, it's definitely helping. He's the only focus damage dealer that's gotten a boost. So yeah, I wouldn't say it's a thing though.
No, the only other one that really would be considered a focus damage deal would be like Scalhium.
Yeah, but she was already good with her relic. So
Sistaro.
Yeah, true. Sistaro as well. BN, focus reduces focus damage based on description. Nope. That's only for the commander though. So focus affects a commander's focus, burn, and poison damage dealt, and reduces the amount of damage they take, they as in the commander take, from the aforementioned damage types. So this is only all these four things, these three. Okay, let's not even talk about initiative, because initiative does play out for everybody. Attack, defense, commander defense, and focus is only related to the commander themselves. That's why this was supposed to be a thing when 2.0 came out. HP and defense, commander defense were supposed to be a thing. And they're still not. Incredibly.
Well, give them time. I mean, I gotta say, everything they're doing is better than it was before. So.
Oh, definitely. Like I said earlier, you know, I haven't been this excited to talk about the changes in the game in a long time. You know, it's just some things are just taking a little bit too long, you know. And we're losing a lot of good friends, you know, because they just can't do it anymore. And I understand. Now, go ahead.
What have you tested? What have you tested since last week, Finn and Scar? And also Maddox, if you've been testing anything. Vessi, what have you guys been testing? What have you had results with? Anybody
I
here in the
haven't
chat?
done anything this week.
What have you been doing all week?
Working.
Oh.
The only time she ever tests stuff is when I'm busy, just staying. She's not in PB. She just goes onto my account and tests stuff when
I just
Harv
help.
yells at me.
I see. Has your team found anything at all? I mean, any kind of new exciting results?
Just the 3 support meta. Gil, Sauron, Gunit White, with the Dane, of course, per usual.
What seems to counter it? What's working against it?
A high respect skull. Bjorn doesn't do well against Gills at all, so the only one that really will counter it kind of is the Skull Dane, Gandalf the White, Sauron combo. But the Skull has to be high respect enough to do enough damage to clear all that White Council, because the Dane, from the tests I've seen, the Skull is doing more damage than the Dane lately.
Interesting.
Yeah, I also found that swapping Gil in for Sauron in that same comp, I found that one was a little more consistent because it let them all stay alive longer, I guess.
So you're saying so just swapping them places. So having Gil not as the tank and Sauron as the tank.
So in that Skullhelm build, you'd have Gil, Skull, Gandalf the White, and Dane.
Okay. You see that being a little bit more consistent, you said?
Over Sauron, yeah.
Interesting.
That's just to counter the triple support build. I don't know how it actually does versus everything else.
Got it.
Vessi, where are you from? Let's get to know our guests a little here. Let's stop for a minute. Where are you from, Vessi?
I'm from Missouri.
What do you do for work?
I'm an ER nurse.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's a freaking job that you'll never, ever be lacking in work hours. Right.
Definitely not.
What other hobbies do you have outside of the game?
Just going outside, like hiking, kayaking, stuff like that.
Oh, okay, cool. What about you, Maddox?
I'm from Austria, but I currently live in Switzerland. I work in academics, so I teach at the university here. And other hobbies that I like are football, the EU version of football. Let's clarify that.
Of course.
And going to the gym, working out, reading books, things like that.
Who's your team?
Bayern München.
I got it. Yeah.
What
A
about
little
you?
bit of changes with that club lately. Not as good as they used to be.
I sadly have to agree with you.
I sure was fun watching some of those guys back in the day, I'll tell you though.
Yeah, for sure.
Robin and all those guys, I loved it.
Yeah. Are you a football fan or?
No, I'm more of an American football guy.
American football, nice.
I try to diversify. You know, I think in this day and age, a man needs to diversify. So I keep up with it a little bit, enough to be able to have a conversation about it and hold my own, but more American football.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah. Scar, where are you from, and what do you do for work?
I'm from California, and I'm a scientist.
What?
And I
Wow.
and I am a co-owner of a laboratory.
Wow.
Into auditing as well for like international regulatory compliance.
Okay. Do you work at?
Without doxing myself too hard.
Do you work at? You don't work at Livermore, do you?
No, are you talking about Lawrence Livermore Laboratory?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I do not.
Oh, okay. What are your hobbies outside the game?
I have video games, of course. I don't know how anybody isn't a big gamer. I like to read. I have a little bunny as well named Briggins, and I'm a big foodie. I love going out and trying new restaurants and cooking as well.
Yeah, you can do that in California because the whole world kind of comes to you in California, and you have that variety in anything and everything, really.
We have the best food restaurants here. Up in the Bay Area, there's literally everything under the sun that you can want to try.
So true. What about you, Finn? Where are you at in the world? What do you do for work? What are your hobbies outside the game?
I live in California as well.
Jeez.
Oh, well, look at this. Another one.
Yes, San Diego area.
So we got San Diego with Finn. We got me in Los Angeles, and then we got Scar in the Bay. So we got you covered.
For job type, I own a business, but I am trying to make a career out of acting.
Oh, well, you're going to be coming to my neck of the woods if you're doing that.
I actually do. I drive up there like 3 times a week.
You're going to need to relocate. It's not cheap.
No, that's the thing I do not want to do, but I know I have to do.
Good luck. Get used to renting a freaking a closet for $2,000. Good luck. That's all. Good luck. I did that crap, years ago. I tried that. Didn't get any.
The renting is absolutely terrible up there, which is why I'm putting it off for so long.
Yeah, and you definitely want to go. You want to stay west of Hollywood. Anywhere else, you're gonna have problems, homeboy. So stay west of Hollywood. That's all I'm gonna say on that. We'll go into it. Just settle down west of Hollywood, bro, and you'll have less problems.
All right.
Finn, what got you into acting?
I always just enjoyed movies and TV shows growing up. I actually never got a chance to because I played competitive soccer, football as I prefer calling it, but in the States we call it soccer. So I never really had a chance to because I was always on the road playing games. And then in college I decided just to go for it because I figured I wouldn't make it as a soccer player.
All right, so you played professional soccer, got into college.
No, just competitive, like traveling, competitive, not professional.
Okay. And then you went to college, and now you say you own a business. What is it that you do?
Mm-hmm. We help make and design strep diagnostic sticks and mono sticks, and give them to we test them and give them to the lab for them to give to the doctors. You know how when you go and you have strep throat or mono, they stick a little swab in the back. Yeah, so we help create those and distribute those.
Nice.
Okay.
Right. Cool, man.
Another couple pieces of advice. If and when you relocate, there's a good acting studio right there in Studio City, right off of Ventura by I think it's Coldwater Canyon or the other canyon. There's a good little acting studio. Go to Central Casting in Burbank. Start out there. Just get some gigs, get some work from that as a background actor. Get into the acting school, and then once you get a little bit better after a year or two. Try and get an agent, but good luck.
Appreciate it, man.
All right,
It's
guys.
really all about who you know and networking, to be honest with you. Way more than
It
talent.
really is.
Way more than talent, which is crazy, right? It's really about just who you know. And if you can just put yourself out there and mingle with the best of them, you give yourself a better chance. But it's all about networking. And unfortunately, it's a lot of it is just people are using other people, right? And there's a lot of just use people up, this kind of mentality, and that sucks. A lot of stupid people out here that think like that. So try to stay true to yourself and be authentic is what I would say.
It's good advice.
All right, guys. Let me give you my feedback on my pretty cut and dry feedback of PB. Although I am excited for changes coming, so far essentially when it comes down to how much of the core I think the game has changed with the current changes in PvE, I say 0. Okay, nothing has really changed. So, and I'm not saying this in a negative way. I'm just saying the meta is like Vessi said earlier. The meta is still the meta. People because Sauron was such a big thing, and pre-battle madness and all that stuff was very powerful, and as an evil commander, people automatically swapped whatever they were using for Sauron and the other 3 meta commanders, Gandalf the White, Bjorn, and Dane. Besides that, in RP, the Gil-galad meta is already there. The reason why people, like I said, people that went from RP to NRP use Sauron was because he's great. But if you play RP, you will see that Gil is in almost every formation. So now they've just made it so that's just that much better when you run Gil, Sauron, and then Gandalf the White and Dane. But one of the reasons why that works really well is because the amount of damage, a stat reduction that Sauron causes on commanders, justifies having just one damage dealer. It works that way. If the scaling wasn't so high, which is not crazy high, but you can get upwards of 25% stat reduction on Sauron with the right focus scaling, with the right focus gear. So the meta really hasn't changed. You can still run, like Vessi said earlier, you can still run your Sauron, Gandalf the White, and 2 damage dealers. It still works. What I was more interested to see was if the less used commanders or commanders that are just completely bad got a rework, and I just don't think they have. If let me just show you my examples. Let's look at Thorn, for example. We gotta test a little bit more, but he went from having 3 damage skills, which were okay-ish, right, to now having these 2 skills, so now you get 2 damage boosting skills and 2 damage dealing skills. So troop buffs on these 2 and 2 damage skills. To me, this seems a bit counterintuitive, because you're either gonna stack commander damage equipment on him for this, or you're gonna stack command and unit attack on these, or you're gonna do what people have been trying, which is put Swan Knights on this guy and just get him to, every time he's hit, try to remove that White Council, right? I don't think it's gonna really do much more than it was doing before. I don't think so. Personally, I don't think so. I could be wrong. The other commander that got a little bit of rework, but I don't think was enough, was like Vessi said earlier, Kirun. They removed one skill for another that doesn't really make sense.
Elrond's a big one.
Oh yes, thank you, Elrond. Another one. He had a damage dealing skill from his top R0, and now you get a skill that ignores defense.
Yeah,
You know?
it pretty much does the same as his other 2 skills. So now he's got 3 skills that all practically do the same thing.
Yeah, he's R3, right? Talking about this right here.
His R3, and then also increasing attack is about the same.
Exactly, exactly,
defense, so...
exactly. It's just another word for the same thing, right? So instead of let's not decrease their defense. I would just increase your attack. You're right. 3 skills that do exactly the same thing. Now, is that a bad thing? I don't know. Maybe for in his case, not as bad as Thorn, I'd say, because you're able to do 2 attacks every single round, and you're boosting your attack by a lot and reducing their defense. That sounds like it works. I just don't see. I just don't see it. Let me give you why. Go ahead.
With Thorin, sorry. The problem with Thorin is that if Thorin or the other person he buffs gets madness, you're gonna nuke your own white council.
Yeah. Yes, you are correct. There is another commander that's very similar to this guy right here, and he's a tier 2. And people have been trying him, and just because the damage just isn't there. Stacking attack on a commander doesn't really do much when the skills of the units aren't very good. You have this guy right here who has 3 skills that boosts attack for his units. War Chant, okay, at max level 30. Modified by command. Half Elven, another 30 modified by command. And you have Loyal Followers, another 25 modified by command, plus another 4 for each different race that you have. So you could have another 12 if there is, because it stacks only 3 times. You're not going to see this guy doing 200,000 of damage with 350 of unit attack. It's just not going to happen. This is my issue with skills in this version of the game, is because a lot of the skills don't really bring you variety of gameplay. So if, for example, there isn't a counter for Gil's evasion, the only counters you find is in Gimli's unique, which is okay. It's okay. I'm gonna level this up to 50 to do some more tests. I was doing some more tests with some tests earlier today. Versus here we go, versus Thanatos Umbra, and let me look at obviously the accounts are completely two different levels, right? You got my Gimli as Z1, you got my Gandalf as Z9, but then you have my Sauron at R4 and Gil at R10. Okay, and looking at Thanatos accounts, you got Z11 on this one, Z2 on Sauron, Z12 on Dane, if I'm not wrong. Yep. And then Z11 on Gandalf the White. So obviously account size very different, and I need to rework some gear, use some hammers to get some better gear for him. Playing around with some 1.0 gear for Gimli.
Whose account is that? Because that's not Thanakid's. He got that from somebody else. I recognize that account. Somebody else.
Used to be Assassins.
Assassin sold his account, huh? Wow.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Amazing.
So, let me look at the difference, though. So, he does okay, but obviously I need to get him closer to 50 to get the true value of this and just work on a little bit on the gear. I got to rework the gear here. But obviously, I can't really expect to beat him. I'm fine with not beating him. But there is no counter. There is not a single commander that says, there is a chance... I guess there could be one, but that's the thing. It's so RNG that you can depend on this guy for that. The Shipwright, right, has 60% chance of doing dual blows, evade, remove debuff, or keen eye. This is nice, but it's a 60% roll, and then another 20% roll on this. So the chances of you getting keen eye every round, every fight is very low, or
and a 40% chance to do nothing.
Exactly, 40% to exactly do nothing. Yep, you're right. So that's where I'm struggling a little bit to be convinced on the changes. I just think they're good. I just don't think they're gonna change anything. I mean, let me go from top to bottom. Not really changed. She hasn't been changed at all. They haven't been changed. The change on him, I don't think it's really meaningful. The change, I mean, King of Man, people, I saw both Dread Shane talking about King of Man. Sadly, I think King of Man is a commander that should have been at level of Dane. You know, this is my personal opinion. Two damage skills, the same damage skills that his T2 version has, I think is a waste. You know, I've seen Z11, Z12s, King of Man's topping 120 damage. You know, doing 160, 170 when they have small units and they're hitting eagles. They will do a lot of damage there. But then anybody, Bjorn will do 220,000 damage when he's hitting eagles with small units. You know, so I think his kit should have been reworked. I know this is nice here, and I remember you mentioned this earlier today, Vessi, on Discord. You know that you have his, his damage is increased by command, which is nice. But then again, I see this guy more of either he should have been a much better troop commander, or just a much better damage dealer. I think he's just mediocre at that. My personal view, I think he's kind of mediocre, especially because I like that his unique is command, but then this right here, locking you in an NRP, game, basically locking you to be having to run man all the time for that to even be used, I think is a bit of a waste.
Yeah, his heal makes no sense with his kit.
It doesn't, exactly.
And then also his unique makes no sense if you're running him as damage. So
exactly.
His whole kit is a mess.
Yes. Preach.
There's so many like that. It's
too many.
Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, that's why when you said earlier, Jackson, they're making changes. I'm happy. I'm gonna open Discord here. We're gonna close with me opening all the changes on Discord and talking a little bit about them, because there's a lot of things that have been introduced in this past week. But essentially, for me, I wish these guys would have gotten a little bit more care. King of Man should have been reworked better. I mean, look, if you're just looking at skills wise, Gimli, just his kit, not power, output. Gimli has a better kit than Dane does.
Because all these commanders, right? And they're just all over the place.
All over the place.
And
yep.
It's like where I come from, we call that a good old clusterfuck.
Look at Gimli's kit. He has 3 damage skills, which Dane also does. But he has a nice little skill here that for a guy as Z10, I believe, he will be able to debuff, remove. It's minimal. 5 of defense from each. Is it 5? Yes. 5 of defense from 3 enemies, and then damage dealt to millions plus 6%. This is at least useful. Look at Dane's bottom R0. It's useless. Why would you want to give him attack on small units? It just makes no sense at all. But I mean, obviously,
one of the lowest commanders also.
Yes. I don't know. There's so many little things. I just wish that they would give commanders 1 or 2 specific roles, and then give them the right skills for that thing. We've been talking about this, although it wasn't really it was minimal, the nerf to Frodo and Sam. It's just still dumb to have a commander that is a tank, and you go and change the defense from his level 10, his R5 level 10, from +5 defense to +5% damage stat. You remove the defense here on his R3 to boosting attack. And then, but at level 10, your unit gets more HP. It's just things like this that make no sense,
Things that make you go, do they really even know what the hell they're doing sometimes?
No.
So I got an idea for next week's podcast.
All right.
see what all the guests here think. I think because we'll have another week of PBE testing, and maybe they bring out some more changes. I don't know, but we'll have a good 3 weeks of it. We should do a quick, I mean, not super quick, but somewhat quick tier list of the commanders in the game now with these changes next week. All of us. What do you guys think?
I think we can cook something until next week.
Yeah, I'm already kind of making one at the moment, just based off what I've kind of tested with Rain, but not much has changed.
Yeah.
No, but it's enough that the community, you know, we can tell them at least what we think. Like, all right, here's where they rank now after the changes that's happened. I think it'd be helpful.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. I think we'll rank as to, instead of just saying, like, God mode and going those extremes, just saying, like, what is top of meta? You can basically have 3 tiers, top of meta, middle saying usable, but it's just, just not there yet. And at the bottom saying just crap, just avoid for now, at least. Just commanders you should avoid. Middle tier where, like, these are great, great to use, and the top of meta, just like the 5 to 8 that you absolutely can use, being safe.
Yeah, we should rank them for everybody.
All right, cool. All right, let's just look at some things here. So many things have been going on Discord lately. One of them being this baby right here, right? They finally announced the new commander. And I mean, if you really look down to the clues, it's unless they're playing with us, it's Azog. A couple of things that gave it away. More than a couple. If you go back to that Revelations room, okay? That's why you gotta keep a close eye on things. If you go back on this room here, there was an image a while back, right, that they put out. Where is it now? Did they delete this? I don't know. It's not there. It's actually here. It's in the artwork one. Where is it? Where is this? Art. It's not. It's art creators. Oh yes, right here. Okay, a while back, this little image here, right here, was shared. Okay, that was the first time I've noticed this. I posted this on my Discord, and we kind of started a discussion. People were like, oh, it could be Azog from the white, the white. Jeez, can't remember now. Warg here, but then people were like, well, the fire in the background could be also, Balrog. That was one of the discussions. Then we had the leak. A lot of people found out about. And the last thing that kind of gave it away to me, I posted this earlier, was this right here. When you look at the announcement, okay, and you zoom in, I'm not gonna be able to zoom in. And you zoom in at the image, you can actually see the silhouette of the commander. Okay. And this is what I've asked you a question earlier, but he doesn't have in this image he has 2 arms. I was doing some research, and Azog actually died in the lore. Azog died in the battle. He didn't survive. The movie made him survive so that he became a villain, right? But if you can see, if you kind of go really close to the image, you can make out he's wearing a necklace right here, like a tooth necklace. He looks to be of pale color. His skin, obviously, I can't tell 100%, but and he's riding a warg. you know, so it kind of hints to me that he is going to be Azog. I was considering they could be Bolg. Like maybe they're gonna, you know, they're gonna troll us and we're gonna think it's gonna be Azog. It's gonna be, you know, Bolg because his name also ends with a G. But the reason why I don't think it's him is because this second part here is too short to fit Bolg the Executioner. You need a lot more space for Executioner to fit when you consider how large these three letters are. The filer seems to fit, but I could be wrong. But I think it's Azog. We're looking at Azog. I don't know. Maybe they reworked his skills because we leaked it, or they leaked it actually.
Hey, Terry. Chat made a good point. He said there are no items with command and commander damage, which is weird.
Yeah. So my second point here, okay, something I was thinking today. We haven't seen, and I want to hear your guys' opinion on this, okay? Fen, Scar, Vessi, Maddox, and Jax. We have had a color change of commanders, right? Now it's epic, legendary, and mythic / supreme. Purple, gold, and orange. We haven't seen any new gear. We still have green, blues, purples, and gold. Do you think we're gonna end up seeing a new tier of gear? What do you guys think?
When was the last time we had new gear? I don't even remember what it was. The hammers?
It was the hammer.
Great. That's how long
Hammer
ago?
and protection of Numenor were, I think, the last two pieces of new gear that was introduced.
How long ago was that?
2 years ago.
Damn.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good thing on one hand, it's maybe a bad thing on the other, because I'll tell you, boy, these other games, they be releasing stuff like
I know.
every month, bro. You just can't keep up. So
I think it's important that they add certain types of gear. As you mentioned, there are some gear pieces which simply don't exist, but then you have commanders with titles who need those gear pieces to function properly. So I think they should introduce some new gear, but I don't think they will. It's too much work for them.
You think they will?
I also think they should introduce like some way of increasing the unit damage, but I'm not sure like a new tier of gear. I don't think that would be a very good idea for them right now.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. It's kind of weird, you know, for me. I was just thinking this today. For us to be seeing a new out of random color changing commanders and the gears not following, to me it just feels like a little entrance to one day introduce, you know, these new supreme gear and increase the level of stuff. So,
I would definitely love to see some unit damage, anything. Like, just give unit damage its respect, man. Make it something usable, please.
Yeah.
This is what we want. Please, it's possible to do it. Do it. We're waiting.
Yeah. I mean, good point.
One of the things that,
go ahead.
Sorry, one of the things that bothers me is that, you know, you have those skills with the sub skills that have like +3 attack. It's like, why don't they just make those +3 unit damage?
Yeah. Yep.
In terms of the gear, I also think the set effects are extremely limited compared to the 1.0 version, right? The reason why a lot of people really like the 1.0 is because before you fight a certain commander or a formation, you can put an accessory that gives pursuit, for example, right? Like in 2.0, you just don't have that. You have no madness immunity, you have no stun immunity, you have no pursuit. It makes the game really linear, and there's not really a lot that the low spenders can do to efficiently match the high spenders in the PvP, right? In terms of gear swapping, for example. So I think that's a bit of a shame if they did some stuff there. Maybe a lot of people would be more excited again.
Yeah, I mean the battle, the fighting has become very shallow. You know, it's
exactly.
there's no more theory crafting like we used to do. You know, nowadays it's you just look at the best possible skills in four commanders and you run with that, and there is no way there really is no way to counter. We mentioned this a little bit earlier, and I think that is a much harder that's more work than doing any other thing in this game. Because imagine they have to really think, because they're matching four commanders in a formation in an army, they have to think how they will play with each other in order to really make them work. You know, I think that's way too. It just adds way too many variables to a system that I think this is gonna be a big problem for them. So
I think their initial plan was to, make the commanders, when he mentions like pursuit and stuff, make the commanders have the pursuit, but then they kind of dropped the ball on that.
Yeah. I mean, think about this. You guys remember when they first revealed 2.0? Like in the little secrets, in the little riddles they did, it was supposed to be 9 commanders. Imagine.
Yeah, that was crazy.
9 commanders in a formation. You have no way. Imagine reading a report. It's nuts. But anyway,
imagine
go ahead.
9 Muma kills on 9 commanders.
How many days to conscript 1 round of those? It'll be Farmville again. That's what we're gonna be playing. New Farmville. But anyway, I think. Let me just see. Are we seeing the Discord? Yes. So I do think it's Azog. Everything hints to that. His skills, from what we know, it was leaked last time. It looked okay. Didn't look like anything crazy when you consider that we haven't had a commander in a long time. Expecting a little bit more, but we'll see when he comes out. We know at least it's been announced that he's coming out, so we'll get to see him soon enough. Now, some of the other things I want to cover really quick. I mean, look how many things have been announced in just in 3 days, every single day. September 11, talking about the Matham chests. Those were interesting. They also have the Commander system adjustments. This I really liked. And then the Commander invitations has also been changed. Did they separate these? Oh, wait. I didn't see this until now, actually. Ooh. Did you guys see the drop rates being changed?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Shoot, I didn't see this. I was at work and I hadn't seen this. This is going to be new. All right, let's have a look at this one then. Oh.
And they're throwing stuff at us
nice.
left and right. It's fantastic.
All right, let me open this really quick. This looks good. All right. Where is the chat? Make sure the chat is open. Oh, shout out to Porky in the house. What's up? Oh, Vessi's also in the chat. No, it was Azog Vessi who was leaked. All right, let's have a quick look at this. I didn't see this earlier today. Commanders are a core feature of the game. Let's just skip this. Adjustments to invitation respect values and drop rates. After this update, the respect value granted by commander invitations of different qualities will be reduced to half. The what? Okay. Used to half. Okay. Of the original amount. At the same time, the chance of obtaining them from various chests will be doubled. Taking the Heroes Gather math and chess as an example, below are the granted drop rate rules and drop rate changes. Am I safe to assume then that nothing really changed? This sounds like
easier to get commanders now, but
it's half. Okay. It sounds like one of those, those Black Friday deals where people a week before, a month before Black Friday, they double the price of something, and then on Black Friday they half that double price, and people are like, man, I'm getting 50% off. It's actually paying the whole price still.
Didn't they drop the amount of respect you need to unlock commanders again?
Yeah, we'll read that in just a second. But yeah, I believe so. I think it was also halved, but I'll have a look. But I mean, just looking at this, it used to be 400, now it's 200. Okay, it used to be 1,000, now it's 5. But then essentially, what all they've done is just double that amount. So to get 200, now it's at 1.44%. To get the 500, now it's a 0.68. In the Mythic, instead of 0.18 is a 0.36, which is doubled, but then you're getting half the value. So it's true. You have double the chance of getting half of what you were getting before, right? So essentially getting, half of double.
Good old fashioned bait and switch.
Yeah, I get it. It does make it better, but it's just like, let's put it this way. If it took you, this is gonna be the easiest way to explain. If it took you 1,000 polls to get an invitation, just for example, right? You did 1,000 polls, you got 3,000 respect, you got the invitation letter. Now it takes you 500 polls to get 1,500 respect. So essentially, it will still take you the 1,000 polls to get the 3,000. But for people that are not gonna go the 1,000, at least at the 500 mark, they can get something, which is nice. But it's still, at the end of the day, it's still taking the same amount of money to get that value in full. Cool. All right, that's interesting. What does it say here now? Don't you love it? All right, so let's open this one up. What does this one say? Adjustment to invitation acquisition rules. After this update, when obtaining an invitation by drawing Matham chests, the obtained invitation is for a commander you have not yet recruited. And, you will directly obtain the commander, If you obtain an invitation for a commander you already own, the invitation will be converted into 5 respect items for that commander. That's nice, because now you're not sitting on stuff on invitation letters that you can't use because you haven't ascended the dude yet. Moreover, after this update, the unused invitation in your pack will also be converted into respect items at ratio of 1, granting 10 respect items for the corresponding commander. That's pretty cool. That's a nice little thing here. Accumulated invitation draw count inheritance. After the update, all draw counts for invitations in Matham chests will be carried over to your new draw progress. If your draw progress for invitations in a Matham chest exceeds the number of draws of a guaranteed drop after the update, the next draw will definitely grant an invitation of the corresponding quality. And the required draw count for a guaranteed invitation drop under the news will be deducted. Okay. For example, if a player A had accumulated 130 out of 200 draws for a Mythic Commander invitation in the Heroes Gather Matham chest before the update, the accumulated draw progress for that chest would become 130 out of 100 for the update after the update. Therefore, this player's next draw will definitely grant a Mythic Commander invitation, and their progress will then change to 31 out of 100. Okay, makes sense. Nothing crazy there, but that's nice. I'm not gonna cover the Matham, the new tiers for Matham chests, but I want to look into this right here because I think there are quite a few questions regarding how some of these things are gonna work. And I sent this earlier. I read and reread stuff to make sure I understood everything correctly. The first change to the commander, respect levels and stuff. I mean, it's plain and simple. Currently in the live servers, you unlock a commander. You to unlock the middle skills, you gotta go to R3, you need an R5 to unlock the last tree. Now they changed that. You unlock the middle one at R2 and the last one at R4. Perfect. The other thing is you're not capped at level 30 anymore. Used to be that, you had to be at respect 1 to level, to be able to go to 40. Now it doesn't matter. All commanders, as soon as they are unlocked, you can get them to level 50. And the cool thing is now you get a lot more skill points per respect level. So it used to be 9 plus 9 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 forever until R10. Now it's level 50, nothing. R1 plus 8 plus 2, R2 plus 3 plus 8 plus 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, all the way to R10. That's really cool. Also, you get, damage stats increase, the percentage. At R6, you get attack, defense, and focus plus 10. This, I think what do you guys think of these changes to how the respect works in the commander now? You guys hear Vessi, Jax, Scar, Fen, and Maddox, but also you guys here in the chat. What do you guys think of these changes for, for the commanders? And take into consideration, this is just for Mythic, right? You got Mythic. Let me pull up the other ones too.
So overall, I think it's good. So it's going to help the really free-to-play players be more competitive. They'll have more skill trees.
Yep.
It's also going to help with that, kind of mid to high whale versus the really highly geared Kraken accounts. So
yeah, there's
no more bonus for being for that level 40 to 50 PvP range.
Isn't that kind of crazy though? That after Zenith 1, there isn't any benefit. You get some more skill points after Zenith 1, but essentially after Zenith 6, it seems there's really no more benefit in going past that.
Well, yeah, I can't remember. I think after Zenith, I actually can't remember which one it is, but you stop getting skill points too.
Yeah, but think about this. Now at R10, you can fill all 3 trees that you need for most commanders. There are very few commanders in the game that actually have a 4th tree that is useful. Let me give you an example. Galadriel to me is one of the commanders in 2.0 that all 4 skill trees are good. If you have an extra 5 out of 10 to go put somewhere, it's gonna improve her kit. But most commanders don't have that. I mean, Dane is a clear. Dane and Bjorn in the current meta are 2 examples of a useless 4th tree. Both of their bottom R0s are useless because you're not gonna run Bjornies on Bjorn, and you're not gonna run small units. And even if you did, plus attack is really meaningless on Dane.
Yeah, I mean, one of the only few other ones would be Skalhion, however you say her name.
Yeah.
You get that Madness immunity.
Yeah.
Gala gets that plus 30 unit defense. And then, I mean, really, there's not many others. I mean, you can argue for Gilgalad. He gets more. You can get Keen Eye for his stun, or Sauron, even. You could get the heal debuff, or,
But I just don't think
Skyrim is a big one.
Yeah. But like I said, it's just very few commanders that going past R10. You like we talked about this earlier. We mentioned Gimli and the Utes Discord. There are a few going to Z1 is worth it because you get the extra damage boost, the stat boost, the damage boost as well. But there isn't really any more use to going past Z1. You're much better focusing on gear after that point. Crazy how they done. I'm kind of baffled, but this is definitely a huge boost for the less whaled players for sure. It puts them at a much better playing field now. Let's see what else. I mean, this is also cool. I mean, we're gonna get a lot of stuff back. I mean, every player, right? They adjusted the required respect. That's what Vessi mentioned earlier. You got, so this is for, okay, this is for Mythic. from when you unlock them, which is 1500, right? 1500 respect to unlock a commander. Now to go from R0 to R1 is 1500 respect after the update, and from R1 to R2 used to be 3000, is down to 2400. Okay, for legendary, they halved from R0 to R1, 500 only after, from 1000, and from R1 to R2, 800. Pretty cool. Now, the retention for these I really, really like. This is gonna be really good. You know, trying to get any T2s or T1s higher was a pain. It never made sense to have weaker commanders be more expensive to raise in respect than the tier 3s. Never made sense. But at least now you're going to be retaining 40% more than you were before. If you have an ascended Gimli, for example, after he's ascended, every gift, you guys know this, it was giving only 30 respect. Now it's going to give you 70. Luckily, you know, I have my Gimli's R13 on the live server. Man, that dude is going to go up in respect when that conversion gets coming. And then I really want to get my duel into Z1, so I got to get that nice costume. They also, this is something that didn't make sense for me. T2s and T3s, they dropped the requirements for respect. But for the T1s, they halved from R0 to R1. Then it starts going up. So from R1 to R2, the difference between these two, right? From 400 to 320, and then from R3 to R4, this doesn't make sense to me. From 560 to 800, and then from R4 to R5, from 600 to 1520. It made no sense for me, but it is what it is. But I'm really happy about this, though. When you ascend him from epic to legendary, instead of retaining only 12, you retain 40, which is 100% ratio. So going from R5 to R10, boom, no penalties. Now from legendary to mythic, now instead of retaining only 30%, you're also retaining 70%. Good thing, huh? Pretty cool. I was really happy about this. Porky, would a R13 Gimli now get Z1 after the update? I mean, kind of have to do the math, but I think you get really close. If most likely, because remember you're only retaining 30% when he ascended, so you're getting an extra 40% of respect. So I would assume that he'd be very close to ascending to Z1 if he wasn't. All right. I think this is pretty clear, right, for everybody. Right, the changes on the adjustments to Commander Ascension, essentially what it is now, if we go to the live server, if I want to ascend my Gimli, I got to use 150, Gimli respect items, right? And 40 Dane items. What the change is now, you're going to need, if I'm going to ascend a legendary, okay? So this is where some people got it mistaken, okay? So let's go step by step. If I want to ascend Gimli, a T2, I'm gonna need 100, if I'm not mistaken, 150 gold respect. Doesn't matter what commander it's from. You don't have to use Gimli's anymore, right? So let's go down here. So the respect items required for legendary commanders at R10 to ascend to mythic tier will be adjusted from 150 designated flawless gold and 40 designated supreme to 100, not 150, sorry, 100 of any flawless gold and 40 of any supreme respect. Pretty cool, right? The change now for epic is a little bit different, because now to ascend an epic commander from legendary to mythic, you're gonna need, okay, this is what it says here, the respect items required for epic commanders at respect no, sorry, it's not that one. Here, number 4. The respect items required for epic commanders at R10 to ascend to mythic tier will be adjusted from 150 per designated to 150 of any, and then 40 of any supreme. Pretty good. All right. I'm gonna want to see those Axogs, you know, as Z6 with, well, as Z10 with 3.5 damage trees active, and just see how much damage that dude is gonna pump out. I'm excited for that. New Bolt Knight counter. Vessi's like Vessi's on the chat and on the voice chat here as well. Now the one that I think a lot of people are a bit confused is this one right here. And then we're gonna close on this, guys. Let me just see where it is. Nope, not that one. I think it's this last one. Yep. All right, this is the last one, okay? People are very confused. I read it a few times so I understood what it's gonna be. And I think this is how it reads, okay? So it's the Ascension material exchange vouchers and the respect reversion vouchers. Okay, so I'll just read one at a time. Tacticians have different expectations for developing various commanders, so after this update, we will provide functional support for you to revert certain commander stats. 1. Ascension material exchange vouchers. Based on the number of ascensions your commanders undertook before the update, we will give you a corresponding number of Ascension material exchange vouchers items. These items can be used on commanders who have undertaken Ascension. Upon using them, you can exchange the specific respect items consumed during previous Ascensions with any respect items of the same quality. Each commander can only use this item once, and each will consume 1 Ascension material voucher. Vouchers will be sent to eligible tacticians after the update and will be valid for 30 days. Okay, so essentially what you want to do is now, the question here, this one, it's not talking about you removing that Ascension. What do you think? How did you guys interpret this one?
So for the
Ascension material one,
is that it might, you know, take 10 respect items from said commander. So it's either going to give you back those exact same, or do what they've done in the past and give you like those universal boxes.
So yeah, so that's the second one that we're gonna talk about, because that's the one I also focus a lot of my time. But what do you think the Ascension material one does? Ascension material exchange. So based on the number of Ascensions your commanders undertook, they're going to give us these Ascension material exchange vouchers. And these items, they do the following. They can be used on commanders who have undertaken Ascension. So let's say Gimli. I ascended Gimli. Upon using them, you can exchange the specific respect items consumed during previous Ascensions with any respect items of the same quality. Oh, okay. So, I think this is how it works. This is not talking about the respect themselves, okay? Which is for commanders that have passed the R5. Okay, so imagine this with me. I ascended my Gimli and I used 40, okay, Dane respect items. This is what I'm thinking it is. But now that you don't need to use a specific commander to ascend a commander, let's say I have 40 Thorin respect items laying around in my inbox. I can exchange those 40 that I used with Dane, you know, with Gimli, for those 40 that I have with Thorn. So then I can use those 40, you know, from Dane to keep leveling up my Dane. Does that make sense? I basically exchange one for the other. That's how I'm reading this.
That's
Yeah,
how
so
I understood it as well.
Okay. So this first part is you can exchange whatever items you have in your inbox. So for example, it kind of goes hand in hand with the second one right here, okay? Because you can say, well, what if I don't have 40 items from Dane, you know, from other commanders lying around to exchange for the 40 that I ascended Dane with or ascended Gimli with? That's where the second one comes into play. Respect reversion vouchers. Due to the changes in commander abilities after the update, for each mythic or legendary commander of respect level 5 or above you own, we will give you one respect reversion voucher item. This item can be used on commanders of respect level 4 or above, and each will consume one respect reversion voucher. This is where I think a lot of people are, and I also got it mixed up the first time. I was like, that's useless if it is like this. But I think it's the wording here that they're using, it's not the correct one. So I'll give you guys what I think this reads. So it says, upon using it, it will deduct respect equivalent. Okay, it doesn't say it will remove those respect specific of that command. It says it will deduct respect equivalent to 10 respect items for that commander and return the corresponding number of respect items to you. And the commander's respect level can be downgraded to respect level 4 at most. Vouchers will be sent to you, to eligible tacticians after the update, and will be valid for 30 days. So I think the way I've read this after multiple times is just like a regular respect refund that we did back there. Was, let's say I have my Thorin, you know, he has a bunch of, you know, he has, I think I do have, I can show you guys this, right? I have this in Thorn. Let me just pull up the screen here really quick. Right? Thorn has 2,430 extra respect that I'm not going to boost. I'm not going to boost this. I'm not going to use them at our C7. So say I want to get 10 respect items from him to use it elsewhere. I used one of the tokens. It's going to remove those, you know, it's going to remove 3,000 respect from him. And then it's going to go back into like one of those generic respect that we have over just like this right here. Did I use all of them already in PB? Let's see. I have it on the live. You know, the little treasure with the random, the season 1 select voucher that you can select exactly which one you want. I think that's how it's gonna work. It makes no sense for them to give us back 10 Thorin unless it's only to be used with the Ascension vouchers that we're talking about. I could be wrong, but I think it's gonna be the same way that it used to be when we got the refunds. What do you guys think?
Hopefully it's that way.
Me too. Yeah. The reason why I think it's that way is just because the wording, you know, the wording that they use there, equivalent. They didn't specify it's gonna be, you know, you're gonna get those back, but you know they're not the best at wording some things, so it could be that, you know, you're gonna get 10 Thorn respect items back, and you can use that to exchange for the Ascension items that you didn't want to use before. But I do think it's gonna be a neutral respect item that you can choose what you want. Although it's not that much, you know. 10?
Yeah, it's not enough to make any kind of major changes to your account.
No. I mean, if you have every single commander at R5, you know, then that means you get 60, 61, 71.
You might make one commander Zenith.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. I was doing the math. It's like we think it's a lot, but it's actually nothing. I can get I can unlock Undying and get him to Zenith something, but that's it. That's There's nothing more than that. It is what it is. But I think we'll get some more clarification soon and get some more feedback. All right.
At least we're getting something, right?
Yeah, exactly. We'll see. I'm giving some feedback on that. I know I sent Saxon a few messages about this, but just like you said, Maddox, it's something. Oh, did you too as well, Vessi?
Yeah, she probably got spammed.
Oh yeah. She's very nice. She's very polite when she replies, so it's good to talk to her. It's good though.
My internet went out.
No worries, Jax. I'll finalize with these words, and then I'll let you guys say your goodbyes for tonight. So far, like I said earlier, I don't think much has changed in diversifying the commanders. I agree that some commanders, like possibly like Gothmog, has maybe it's starting to find his place. He's a little bit more synergized than he was in the live servers right now. He's a little bit better. I don't see a whole lot of commanders really shining. Even at that middle tier, saying, "Look, you're gonna hit the meta, but you're still gonna hurt. 3/4 of it. You're gonna wipe it out with those heroes at good respect level." I'm not really seeing any of that. And for me, what I would have wanted to see is a diversification in gameplay style. I would have loved to see commanders, people being able to run a healing formation, that it's just a wall. You're gonna run Galadriel, Radagast, and it's like, unless somebody uses Sauron or somebody that can heal block, these guys is gonna take 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hits if they're whaled, and they're gonna stand their ground right there. That would have been awesome to see. It would have been awesome to see pure crowd control formation where they might not do a whole lot of damage, but they're gonna be the Grimas of our day, where the people they're spamming stun and madness so much that Dane and Bjorn and whatever, they're just hurting themselves all the time.
I mean, we do have that now with the triple support. Every single one of those guys has a stun.
Yeah, but but those are a mix of everything that they do, right? You got evasion, bunch of damage reduction, and your CC. Would have been nice. I mean, how many times have I hit a R3, R4, R5 free to play Grima with a huge commander and I wiped myself with more than half the damage to myself. And that's all he did. He just did that madness, and was enough for me to hurt myself. I miss those types of having to think who I'm hitting, and kind of play around those things. That's what I was kind of hoping. But if anything, just bring more commanders to being viable. One huge positive, which is not related to PvE, is the whole reduction, like the increase of retention on the respect. Now people are going to be able to, free-to-play players going to be able to have their Gimlis or their Dwallins, whoever they like to play at a higher level, that will help them just be that much better in the game, which right now they suffer a little bit. All right. Just a quick reminder, guys. I like Jax's idea for next week's podcast. So Vesio, I'll message you, not tonight, probably tomorrow, the next few days, to talk about commanders and stuff. I like to keep things simple, so maybe having 3 tiers like we said earlier, and then we can talk about them, why they're there, and and kind of give some pointers to people. So we'll do that for next week. But before we go, guys, Jax, wanna see your goodbyes? Anything you want to say before we go?
Yeah. Have a good weekend.
Yes, guys, have a good weekend. Vessi, anything?
No. Have a good one, guys.
By the way, it was really cool. It was awesome to finally get Vessi to come on and participate in a voice chat. That was really cool. Scar? Scar is still with us. Oh, she's off. Maddox?
Yeah, thanks for having me on. It was fun, and enjoy your weekend, guys.
Vessi, Porky asked me to remind you that Galadriel's bad. And Treebeard is OP. Fen?
Thanks for having me. It was fun. Have a good weekend.
All right, guys. For me, it's almost midnight. For you guys in the West Coast, all you guys in California, is like 1 p.m. Is it 1 p.m.? Yep. 1:36 p.m. for you guys. Yep.
2:36.
So you guys enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Guys, thank you for being on for this long. I appreciate it. 2 little things. Don't forget, if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, subscribe, hit that like button, and don't forget, by the way, next time I'm going to do a giveaway on the channel to thank everybody for using my top-up link. You guys have no idea how much that helps. Grateful for you guys that use it. So don't forget, continue using that. All right, have a great weekend. Take care, and see you guys, especially you medics and Vessi and Jack. See you guys in the map later on tonight. Take care, everybody.
Yes. See you.